My pulse spiked. I hadn't parked illegally. I hadn't even moved my truck for 2 days. I dialed the towing company's number with shaking fingers. "Pick up from Brookside WA request," the dispatcher said flatly. "They claimed you were obstructing common property." "Common property? That's my driveway. Take it up with the WA, sir." I barely slept. By sunrise, fury hummed in my veins. Brookside's clubhouse smelled of fresh paint and smugness when I stormed in the next morning. 5 board members sat behind a polished oak table, coffee cups steaming. Karen, yes, her name was actually Karen, was president, flanked by her loyal sidekick Jeff. "Mr. Rivers," she greeted with a sugary smile. "We needed your spot for community events. It's within our rights." "Your rights end at my property line," I snapped. Jeff smirked. "According to the updated plat, that strip belongs to the WA now." Updated plat, my stomach clenched. Karen slid a paper across the table. "We voted last month to reclassify certain easements. You were notified." "No, I wasn't. It was in the newsletter," she said, shrugging. Page 11. My neighbors glanced at me with pity and fear. Karen's power was legendary. I left before I said something I'd regret. But while driving to retrieve my towed truck, and pay the outrageous $350 fee, a thought sparked: updated plat. If they'd reclassified land, there had to be filings. Monday morning I was at the county recorder's office, bleary-eyed but determined. The clerk, a gray-haired man named Theo, scrolled through property records. "Looks like they filed a boundary adjustment," he said. "But this is odd. The underlying road parcel, it's still in your name." I blinked. The road, the entire length of Brookside Lane, from the main intersection to the cul-de-sac, is listed under a holding company. Owner of record, R&R Development LLC. You're the managing member. Memories flooded back. 10 years ago, I'd bought the old farm plot and sold off pieces to the developer who built Brookside. I'd retained certain rights through an LLC for potential future projects, and apparently, the actual roadway deed never transferred. I owned the road. I left with a certified copy of the deed and a grin that felt wicked. First, I confirmed everything with my lawyer, Monica. "They can't pave, repave, or even maintain it without your consent," she said, adjusting her glasses. "Technically, you could revoke access. But that's nuclear. I just want my spot, and maybe a little justice." Monica smiled. "Then let's draft a notice of intent." That evening, I parked my truck boldly in my driveway and taped a letter to the HOA's clubhouse door. Greater than notice of private road ownership. Effective immediately, all improvements, easements, and parking regulations are subject to owner approval. Unauthorized use may be considered trespassing. By morning, my phone buzzed nonstop. Karen's voice on voicemail cracked like a whip. "This is ridiculous. You can't possibly." "But I could." The WA called an emergency meeting. I arrived fashionably late, deed in hand. The room buzzed with whispered arguments. Karen launched her attack. "This is a community. You can't hold us hostage." I placed the certified deed on the table. "This road is private property, my property. Every inch of asphalt your shoes are standing on belongs to R&R Development LLC. I never transferred it. Your parking rules, void." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jeff's face drained of color. "You can't. You won't," Karen stammered. "I could declare the road unbuildable. No resurfacing. No city plows. Imagine winter without snow removal." Someone in the back muttered, "Oh my God." Karen's bravado cracked. "What do you want?" "My driveway back. Reimburse the towing fee. And a public apology to every homeowner you bullied." The silence was delicious. Days later, a glossy WA newsletter landed on every doorstep. "Greater than we regret the misunderstanding regarding Mr. Rivers' property rights. Effective immediately, all parking regulations are suspended pending review." I got my $350 back and then some. They even offered free landscaping for a year, as goodwill. But Karen wasn't done. She tried to rally neighbors, claiming I threatened the whole community. Some gave me cold looks. Yet others approached me with quiet thanks. Turns out, many had suffered her petty fines and rule changes. With Monica's help, I drafted a formal easement agreement granting residents free road access, on the condition that any new WA rules required unanimous homeowner approval. Suddenly, Brookside meetings turned polite, even friendly. Karen was voted out within a month. One snowy evening, I stood at the end of my road, watching kids build a snow fort right in the middle of the cul-de-sac. Parents waved as they passed. My truck rested peacefully in its rightful spot. Justice didn't always need shouting. Sometimes it just required a well-kept deed and the patience to wield it.